talking fishing, nothing but fishing, talking fishing. If it's facts about fishing that you want to know, then tune in, folks, cause this is the show. We'll show you all the right bait to use, so sit right back, you got nothing to lose. Doesn't really matter if it's trout or carp, flathead, marlin or a gummy shark. Listen to the guys and you can't go wrong. They'll be talking about fishing till the cows come home. Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing.
And welcome everyone to Talking Fishing, our last show for 2015, which has been pre-recorded, not live. Tonight we look back on some of the highlights of 2015. We'll look at the best fishing reel produced this year in Product of the Week. We'll head out to the Spotters factory and show you how their Polaroid sunglasses are made. And we'll repeat our little segment from the other week with the Minister responsible for Fisheries Jaala Pulford. Finally, we'll have another look at another big event, Mates Day 2015. But before that, sit back and enjoy the best of Talking Fishing. And to kick things off, let's head to Blue Rock Lake and see how changes unfolded earlier this year.
Because you know I'm all about that bass, no trouble. 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 I'm all about that bass.
I'm here with the Minister for Water and Environment, Lisa Neville. We're putting 12 of these beautiful bass into Blue Rock. If you catch one of these tagged fish, plenty of prizes coming your way. Total value, $2,000.
I'm all about that bass, no trouble. I'm all about that bass, no trouble. I'm all about that bass.
Today it's all about bass, a dozen released in addition to many more released, but there's a dozen really special bass released thanks to the generosity of our anglers, our angling businesses, tackle businesses in the region. There are tags, there are prizes, and it's all about encouraging more people to be fishing more often. This is part of the Andrews Labor government's Target 1 Million plan, and there are lots and lots of components to this. We've added water to Lake Tolondo for trout fishing. We have a trout cod fishery, now the best in the world, I think the only in the world, but definitely the best in the world, in Beechworth. That was opened just a couple of weeks ago. We're getting on with the work of removing commercial netting from Port Phillip and Corio Bays. We'll be encouraging school kids to put down their iPods and get out of line and spend more time fishing. And we're calling it Target 1 Million because it's about increasing the number of wreck fishers in Victoria from around 750,000 to 1 million. This is about promoting a great activity and a great lifestyle. It's about supporting a $2.3 billion industry that creates and supports many jobs, promotes regional tourism in different locations right across the state. So fantastic to be here today. Lisa's going to talk to us a bit more about the specifics of what's changing today. So thanks very much, Harriet.
Thanks, Ella. I'm just still a bit confused. Before I start, how are you going to find 12 fish in there to win the prizes? But because it's a massive lake, and it's my first time of seeing the lake, although every week pretty much I see the list of water storages around the state, and this lake is at 100.3. I'm not sure where the 0.3 is, but it's over. It has great capacity, which in certain parts of Victoria we've got some drought issues, but to see a lake of this kind with this water capacity is fantastic. And this is a really important asset in this community. It provides support to the power stations, it provides drinking water, it provides environmental flows as well. So it plays a really big role in this local community. But of course, today is about adding, I suppose, or increasing the access to this lake by changing some of the rules that have prevented some people from accessing the lake. We know when the lake was first established, there were rules about the size of the boat and the horsepower of boats because of erosion risks. Well, those risks have now moved on. We don't have that same risk. And what we also know at the same time is that people are generally, as fishermen, have bigger boats with higher horsepower. So a whole lot of people have been prevented from being able to use this lake for fishing purposes. So today we're formally announcing that those restrictions, both the length of the boat and the horsepower limits, have been removed, so that you can have longer and bigger boats, which represents, I think, more fairly what people are actually purchasing when you're looking at fishing. So that will open up this facility to more people to use. But of course, it's also about getting the balance right, making sure that that swimmers can swim safely, that kayaking can still go on the lake. So we've got swimming areas where there'll be no go zones for boats. We've also got a speed limit of both 5 kilometres around the boundary and 15 out in the lake. So this is about getting the balance right so that we see more and more people using the lake and using it safely. Now I know some members of the community are concerned that this will open the door for jet skis and water skis. That is absolutely not our intention to do that, and I've spoken to a couple of the members there to assure them over the next 12 months as we look at this that we ensure there is proper monitoring and compliance, but if we need to take further action around jet skis and water skis, that we will do that, because this is about ensuring our rec fishing community can use this lake, get the most out of this lake, swimmers, kayaking, and the local community can continue to enjoy this great asset. So it's fantastic to be with you today. I thank everyone for their support. They went through the process with us in getting to this position, and I hope that this will be a win-win for the community and for rec fishing as we go forward. So thanks very much.
Well, normally you would crack a nice champagne when you go to an occasion like this. The new restrictions are in place at Blue Rock Lake. No champagne, a nice cup of tea with the Minister, Lisa Neville. It's a great day for fishing, and what today does is opens up a great bass fishery, great trout fishery in Blue Rock to many people that have been restricted off the lake. Lisa, what's some of the restriction changes? So bigger boats, bigger motors now?
So it used to be that you couldn't have a certain length of boat, you couldn't have horsepower, so we've removed both of those restrictions. So that means that we can have the boats that people now use actually using the lake. I think it was a very outdated regulation that was put in place to protect something we no longer need to protect from, that's erosion. So this is a common sense approach. It's about providing opportunities for our rec fishing community to now use this great facility here.
As the Minister said, it's a great thing for fishing, it's a great facility. We're going to head out the boat and have a look how great it is.
No trouble, I'm all about that bass.
Now, we did get out in the boat. To cut a long story short, that wind was blowing off Mount Borhor. It was freezing. We didn't catch a fish. You're not going to see any of that, I can tell you. A great news story, boys, because we went down to Blue Rock Lake a few weeks ago, saw the announcement of boat length and horsepower restrictions removed, and part of that process was putting some beautifully tagged bass in with some great prizes to be had. And guess what? The first tagged bass has been caught at Blue Rock Lake. Have a look at the photos there. Absolutely fantastic. Local 16-year-old angler Jack Leeson from Willow Grove has claimed first prize for catching one of 12 tagged bass at Blue Rock Lake. He caught the bass, his biggest yet, from the lake, casting a lure from a 4-metre boat carrying a 20 horsepower outboard. Who would believe that 5 weeks ago that was illegal to do? You know, like right. He's doing no harm. He's caught it. Yeah. Last month, angler access to Blue Rock Lake was improved when boating rules were changed. Vessels of any length are carrying any engine size can now operate on the lake, although a 15-knot speed limit applies. And Blue Rock Lake has been stocked with 160,000 bass fingerlings since 2002 and has rapidly become one of Victoria's best fisheries for the iconic freshwater native. So,
and possibly that guy wouldn't have had access to that lake before because of his conditions on his boat.
And he's a local kid. Yeah. Well, he probably had a 10 horsepower sticker on his 20 horsepower motor, so it was all good. As we found out the other week in Kramer's mailbag.
Talking fishing.
G'day, David Kramer here. I'm a massive fan of the Mazda BT50, having personally driven and owned one for more than 5 years now. And to tell you what, you can't beat them for an all-round great ute and a great tow vehicle. Get into Mornington Mazda before the end of the month and grab yourself a run-out bargain. Plus, with every BT50, you get all this $500 worth of fishing gear for free. I made mine a Mornington Mazda.
Make mine a Mornington Mazda.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing.
And last week we mentioned the big AFTA awards that were up on the Gold Coast a few weeks ago, where they have awards for every different product category, and the winner of the best reel at the AFTA awards was the Shimano Stratic, ads, and we're going to talk about the Shimano Stratic tonight, because what a unbelievable range of reels they are.
Yeah, well, I guess through the time I've been in the fishing industry, there hasn't been too many reels that have been as well received as what these have been. For a number of reasons, which we'll get into. A few new technologies Shimano have incorporated into the reel making process. Not so much a new body or a new spool or anything new that crazy. It's more on a processing level on their behalf, which basically just means smoother for longer, but we'll get into that as we delve into it.
Absolutely, ads, and look, a little bit of a shape difference, a bit of a colour
That's right.
difference, obviously, because
Modern.
these were the old traditional, the FJ white.
Yep.
But we're going to have a look at a little bit of a video now, just on some of the technology that's gone into this new Stratic range. Can I ask the first question, ads? What's Hagani?
Hagani.
Sounds like soup.
Yeah, that's right. It's something you'll hear a lot about in the next few years, because I think it's something Shimano will incorporate massively into the new range.
Yeah.
They've really pushed it with the Stratic. Basically what it is, it's a process in how they make the main gear. As you saw briefly in the video, everything's made out of one piece.
So that main gear is not something that's poured molten metal into a press, or it's not made up and ground away with an angle grinder or something like that?
It's actually cold forged. So even all the little teeth you see on those gears, they're not actually cut. It's made out of one piece of material, which means obviously longevity is a huge thing. Reels are designed to be turned hundreds and thousands of times throughout the course of their life. But the other thing is Hagani, it's a process. You see it in the gears, you see it in the body. They combine that with X-Ship, which has been out for a few years. And all X-Ship is basically means that the main shaft, the main stem, can't twist or warp under pressures, whether that be through use, drag pressure, all those sort of things. It's basically a huge process which guarantees you're getting the best value for money per reel, because you're going to get the longevity out of it.
Let's run through the sizes, because they come in a 1, 2500, 3000, 4000, 5000. Now in the old range there was a 6 and an 8. They're not doing that in the new range yet?
No, not yet. And whether we see reels that size in the Stratic range in the future, I doubt it, only because Shimano really separated their saltwater reels from their smaller reels. You see it in the Stellars. Once you get from a 4000 and above, they become a saltwater concept.
Yep.
I think it's just a way of being more specific, and that's the way the world's going. Everything is so specific these days.
Let's have a quick look at 1000, but when you get to 5000 I'll go wow, because that's my favourite, but the one's a cracker.
Yeah, 1000, so a size that's been part of the Shimano stable forever. This is your brim, your trout,
Yep.
Any of your light line applications, the spool is not crazy shallow. So for those who want to run light monos, 3 pound, a lot of people, straight through spinning with fluorocarbons, huge these days. So the 1000 is what you'll be looking at in that reel. The 2500 would be, for us in Victoria, probably the most popular size over the last, for as long as I've been in the game anyway. This is the most universal size, whether it's trying to catch a snapper, still your brim fishing, 6-10 pound braids, that sort of thing. From there you move into a 3000, which is a relatively new size, I guess, in the grand scheme of things. You'll see on the packaging this, it's actually classed a compact reel. They're basically saying...
Compact body, isn't it?
Compact body, that's right. They're basically trying to tell you the reel should be bigger, but it's not. It's the same body size as the 2500. The 3000 spool allows for more line. So this is, for us, as a lure fishing reel for snapper, that's the one. Because it's light, it's small, it's got huge drag. I think it's upwards of nearly 8 kilos of drag, but you can spool that with a 15 pound braid. 20 pound with some of the newer braids, they're getting that thin, and that reel will cope, no worries at all. It then moves into the 4000 size, which we all know that's been huge in the ranges in previous years.
Would that be your most popular trolley, a 4 for cod or a 5?
Yeah, now with the new braids, like Adam says, with the new braids, they are changing to smaller reels that are stronger, so it definitely fits into it. That, along with the 2500 for redfin and yellow belly.
So 4000, your typical 4000 size, you can run anywhere up to a 20, maybe 30, but you're probably pushing it. Up to a 20 pound braid's perfect for it.
Yeah, you know I'm good at my technology. The 4 and 5 have got higher retrieve rate, have they? Like that extra gear?
That's right. So they're basically trying to corner the light game fishing market with some of these things. Now, that, when I say game fishing, I'm talking maybe your smaller size of your big pelagics, whether it be kingfish up north, small mackerel, trevally, that sort of thing.
That's got a bigger knob.
It has. Thanks, Charlie. The 5000, again, similar concept to the 3000. It's a 4000 body, so a compact body, big spool, big power handle, and it's amazing how much that big handle makes a difference in getting line back on the reel. So if you're looking at it for kingfish, or you want to take it away travelling, the 5000 is one you'll be looking at. We've probably found over the last few years with snapper, our normal bait snapper fishing rods getting lighter and lighter, 5000 is quickly becoming one of the most popular reels because it's such a versatile size. That compact body with the big spool, you run up to a 30 pound braid on that, no worries at all. You're upwards of 10 kilos of drag. You can basically catch whatever you want anywhere around the country, whether it's barra, mackerel, kingfish, snapper, whatever you want. The 5000 is definitely up there with one of the more versatile members of the new Stratic family.
One of the biggest things is protect your eyes from the sun. Our good friends at Spotters let us into their factory, and we filmed a little bit of a trip down there. Let's have a look at what we saw.
There's two very important things when it comes to your eyes and fishing. Number one, protect them from the sun. You're out there in the beautiful sunshine catching your beautiful fish. You've got to look after your eyes. They're your greatest asset. Number two, have polarised lenses. You've got to see the fish. You've got to see the structure. You want to do everything you can to give you that little bit of edge catching the big fish. We're here at the headquarters of Spotters Sunglasses today. Now, Jason Portelli is the face of Spotters in Victoria, if not Australia. If you haven't seen him, this is the man. Jason, how long have you been around Spotters Sunglasses?
11 years, Dave.
And how long has the company been around?
21 years.
This factory that we're looking at here today, Kilsyth, how many different lenses, frames, combinations of glasses are there?
Currently 24.
Yep, with lenses?
11 different lenses.
Now, 11 times 24, I've got no idea what that is, and I bet you don't either, but it's a lot of sunglasses. Now, we're going to grab Stu Griffiths. He's the optical mechanic here at Spotters Sunglasses. He's going to take us for a tour of the factory and have a look how Spotters Sunglasses are made.
So, basically what I do is block the lenses here. As you can see, they're our Nexus lenses. They're a green with a blue tinge. Once they're blocked up, fit them into the machine here, and the machine has a template to the shape of the frame that we're cutting. In this case, it's a droid.
So does every lens starts in that shape?
It actually starts a lot thicker.
Oh, and you've already ground the face.
The horizontal lines that you can't see, but they're in there, they'll stop the reflection off the water like that. So, but like that, it'll allow it straight through. So if you get two polarised lenses and twist them one in front of the other, they'll go black. So it'll cut out the total light coming through. It fits in there. So we've got a little hand edger here. Just take the sharp edges off the lens. This takes all the little the chips and any dags that may be on the lens off.
So Stu, what's this?
This is a heat bead box. So we've got hot glass beads in here. So what we do is we put the frame in. It makes the frame warm and pliable, so it moves and is able to be manipulated around. Just pretty much fit them in like that. Make sure they're tight. These lenses are for our prescription wearers.
Yep.
Now the reason they're so thick is so we can accommodate for up to a +2 or a -2, so we can grind anything between that range on here. This is our halide lens. It's the darker version of the penetrator. Now these two will go slightly darker in the sun. Also will our extreme yellow, that also goes a little bit darker, but that's generally for lighter conditions, say trout fishing and Tassie rivers, that sort of thing, overcast days. Silver mirror, gold mirror are also available.
Now everyone, this is Drummo. Drummo is half blind most of the time and fully blind the rest of the time. Jace, if someone like Drummo walks into a tack world and says, I want prescription spotters, can you do it?
Certainly can, yes. Pretty much what we need is a fairly fresh prescription from the optometrist, and we can make up a design pair of prescriptions just for Drummo in his own powers.
So, I've just got glasses myself and I can't read without them. I'm about a 2, a +2. I
Yep.
think. What can you go up to in prescriptions?
Pretty much +2, +2, 2.5 in glass.
Stu, what's this machine? Tell us about it.
Well, basically what we do with this machine is we pop a pair of glasses in, hit start, and it will spin around and it determines the axis of the lenses and make sure they're within a couple of degrees of 180.
Now, if you want a cheaper lens than glass, you have the option of Columbia resin. It is one of the best resins from around the world, and this is how they make them. So Stu, someone makes a tray of glasses. Obviously this is a Thunder.
Yep.
What do you do with it now?
We have a print machine that will print the spotter's logo, and in this case we have the halide symbol because it's a halide lens, whereas the non-halide lenses will just come with the spotter's logo.
Now, a tray of glasses has been printed with a little spotter's logo on the lens. It comes to here. What happens here?
Well, Maine, our quality control team, will lay them out on the bench like this, and they'll check for bent screws, make sure they're straight, make sure the lenses have no gaps or anything like that. And then from this point, they'll wrap them up and present them nicely in a tin, and then they go out to you guys in the shops.
Well, there you have it. That's how you make a pair of these sunglasses. I'd really like to thank Jace. Thanks, mate. Appreciate the tour. We now know a lot more about these. There you have it.
Spotted sunglasses, eh?
That's good.
Sunglasses aren't just made in China and shipped in big containers.
That's good to see.
That's
really
local stuff, and they've been around, what did Jay say,
22 years, 21
20
years?
something years, yeah.
Talking fishing.
Good morning, spotters. Stephanie speaking.
Product of the week, brought to you by Tackle World, now with 8 great locations around Victoria. Tackle World, where our advice is priceless, that's why it's for free.
See you down at Tackle World today. Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing.
someone who will this week celebrate 1 year as Minister for Agriculture and Regional Development, Jaala Pulford. Welcome, Jaala.
Lovely to be with you again.
I think in 2 days' time you were sworn in 1 year ago.
Yes, that's right. This week. There's a few anniversaries.
It's been a big year, hasn't it?
It has been a big year. I've learned a lot about fishing, I can tell you.
Yeah. So tonight we've got the to-do list, the Jaala list. If you like, there it is on the screen. That's what Jaala put on her fridge at home when she was first elected as the minister. And now we're going to work through them. So the first one was ban commercial netting. The good thing is the legislation's through.
It is a big achievement, and a lot of people have worked really hard to get this done. It was really important to me that we had this legislation through the Parliament in year one. There are 43 licence holders who are being profoundly affected by this, and so they now have certainty. We've increased the compensation package from $20 million, that's what we said before the election, to 27. Yep. But we've got a set of arrangements in place that means everybody knows where we stand, and I think we'll see considerable numbers of those people opt out as early as April next year. And it hasn't been a great time for those 43 people, and we should acknowledge that. And I remember going back, as you were in the 3AW studio with me that night when Daniel Andrews came in and announced the Labor Party's policy pre-election, and the big word that we spoke about that night was compassion, because 43 families are going to be out of business, and you'd hope, 8 of them will continue as longliners, but and others maybe find jobs in similar type industry elsewhere in the state or whatever, you don't know. There's some new economic studies, or Ernst & Young report is out now that shows what the value is in Victoria, and it's massive from recreational fishing, isn't it? That's right. There's a very recent report out that shows a $7.1 billion boost to the Victorian economy each year. That's just massive, and more than $300 per person per trip spend. This supports around 34,000 jobs in Victoria, and this has been a big part of our rationale for this policy. But I think compassion is important, and I'd certainly encourage people who are on the bay during this period of transition to keep that in mind if they're interacting with the commercial netters who've been affected by this. We've tried really hard at every step along the way to listen and respond where possible in the way we've designed the package, so that people get the best possible deal they can, but at the end of the day it's a big dramatic change for those people, and I think if everyone can keep that in their mind as they run into the netters, that would be really great. And I think we'll tick that one off. Next one, Local Advisory Committee for Lake Tolondo. Now Lake Tolondo's in a bit of strife right now, but what you did in the first probably couple of months was absolutely fantastic. Yeah, Tolondo was probably my first introduction to just the extraordinary passion that I was going to encounter each and every week with recreational fishers in this role. So the Tolondo Advisory Group was up and running really quite early in the year. They've had a number of meetings, they've considered a lot of evidence, and they've presented a report to government that we're having a look at the moment. They're getting together again in the next week or so to have some more discussions, but the challenge here is it's quite a big, shallow, broad body of water that's pretty close to geographically located in the driest part of the state, and some of my other responsibilities, in fact probably the number one focus of attention in the last couple of months in particular, has been about how we support those communities in responding to drought. And so I've spent quite a bit of time in the northwest of the state in the last little while talking to communities. Let's have a look at the to-do list and give that one a tick. Now, marine stocking, if you can answer that in under 30 seconds, because they're telling me we've got to go for a break. What have you done in marine stocking? Okay, so 5,000 mulloway fingerlings into Lake Tyers in October, and some more mulloway and estuary perch stocking in Gippsland over the next couple of months. So yeah, we're pretty pleased about that. That'd be I reckon it's the first fin fish into saltwater in the history of Victoria. I mean, firstly, certainly the first stocking of mulloway into Victoria, and the thing is, New South Wales have been doing it for years and years into some of their estuaries, and have some great fisheries as a result. So great that that's happening. The next one is a trout cod fishery opening. Yes, this was really nice, really lovely spring day in Beechworth. The Premier Daniel Andrews joined us for this at Beechworth, trout cod fishery, just fantastic, really good, great reception from the locals.
So that lake's open now?
Yes.
Yep. And,
yes.
And I think, I mean, I'm trying to get, no hiding it, but we're trying to get Paul up there to fish for iFish and do an episode catching them, and the boys said, oh no, they're all shut down, it's too cold. But as that water gets warmer, or Charlie, you probably know, I mean, they'll come on like all the natives, and that'll be a great fishery, I think, over the school holidays, particularly over summer.
Great fish for the fisheries.
Let's have a look at the to-do list. I think we've ticked that one off. So trout, cod, we're ticking it off.
We've got to shake the pen.
Stocking barramundi into Hazelwood Pondage. Now that was a big election promise and something that I've got a personal interest in. That's going along just nicely too.
Yeah, this is coming along. I think this will probably be the item on the list that might get the next tick.
Yep.
So we're making good progress on this. I'd say stay tuned, and early next year we might have some good news on that.
All right, and definitely we'll be down to film that, so if that happens. So tick it off. Can we tick that one off? Barramundi.
There we go.
There you go.
You've got to save a couple of things to do in year 2.
Yeah, I know. Now, removing the restrictions.
Have a year off next year, Joel.
There's no years off. Remove
that's
restrictions
not
at
gonna
Blue Rock Lake. Now that we know that, we've covered that. So $2,000 grants to fishing clubs. Where's that at?
Yeah, so this is kicking off next year. Early in the year, I'll write to all clubs, letting them know that we're in business on these $2,000 grants, and they are all about getting more people participating in fishing. Really, we bundle all of this up, this my big list, and call it Target 1 Million. It's about getting 1 million people out fishing, kids off couches, people out having a good time, and that massive jobs boost that we know that will come from more people fishing. So this is, the time for fishing clubs to be putting on their thinking caps about what are the kinds of things that are going to engage new people and get more people involved.
Next one is increased stocking from 3 to 5 million fish per year.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've done a bit of work on this already, 3.2 million this year, but we are going to continue to improve that, continue to increase that, and that'll be a real focus for next year's effort.
With the netting ban legislation introduced through Parliament, and people are getting excited down at the Gippsland Lakes. They're saying, when are you banning the netting at Gippsland Lakes river mouths, which was an election promise?
Look, like everyone and any organisation, government's got finite resources, finite numbers of people to work on delivering on these election commitments, and so this is something that we haven't done much work on this year. Was the real focus of our efforts and our energies has been around the legislation for the Bay, but this is going to dial up a notch in earnest in the new year.
Let's have a look at the to-do list hanging on the fridge there. One more on the list there, statutory authority. So for the people at home that don't understand that, one of the election commitments was to move Fisheries Victoria into or look at it. I don't think you even promised to actually deliver it. I think it was just have a look at it in the election commitments, but transform it into a statutory authority. And I've got to admit, I had no idea really what that meant, but someone said to me, well, Vic Roads or WorkSafe, they're statutory authority, so they're virtually a standalone outside of a big government department that just gets on with business, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's right. And like our Game Management Authority is a model that I think will take certainly many aspects from to inform how we do this. That was done a couple of years ago. And what it is, it's like if you imagine government, there's a sort of inner circle, which is all the government departments, and then there's that next ring where you've got all of those government agencies and organisations that are really dedicated to a particular task. It's probably the best way to explain it. So to establish Fisheries Victoria as a statutory authority will require legislation, and again a whole lot of work and consultation with both commercial and rec fishing stakeholders as we proceed on that. So we'll again, this is something that our focus will shift to in the new year, and we'll be putting a whole lot of time and effort into that. I think
that's the to-do list now. Don't want to embarrass you, but
okay, I think that's too late.
On behalf of Victorian recreational anglers, and I say this sincerely on behalf of a lot of people that we have, between the three of us, have a lot of tackle shops. We know the feeling, the mood of people, and I think what you've done in 1 year, Jaala, is unprecedented. I've always said that Joe Helper was probably the best fisheries minister that I've ever met in my time, and I think what you've achieved in 1 year has been fantastic. we just wanted to say sincerely thank you.
Oh, thank you. Lovely to join you again tonight. Thank you for the flowers. That's really above and beyond. But, you know, we're just really happy to be working on our list, that's all our election commitments, and ticking those things off and doing what we said we'd do before the election after it.
Talking fishing.
We know what you'd rather be doing.
We know what you've really got in mind.
We know you'd rather be out fishing. And today's the day you're gonna wear the line. 'Cause every day's a good day.
Stop wishing.
Every day's a chance to drift away. Drift away.
Every day's a good day for fishing. See you down at Tackle World today.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing.
Mates Day on the Bay on Sunday was probably one of the most successful Mates Days in about the 17-year history that event's been running, and it was a very, very special day. Let's have a look at what happened last Sunday.
I'll tell you what I think, forget it for now. Put it behind you, I think it's your round, 'cause you're my mate.
Mates Day 2015, it's been an absolutely fantastic day. The people are out there fishing, the boats are just starting to come in. I've heard there's quite a few being caught. Let's have a look at some of the fish that have been caught now.
'Cause you're my mate, and I will stand by you. You're my mate, and I will stand by you. And in the face of things that could hurt you, you're my mate, and I will stand by you. 'Cause you're my mate. 'Cause you're my mate, and I will stand by you. You're my mate, and I will stand by you. 'Cause you're my mate.
So Chuck's beautiful. Look at that. Look at that.
That could hurt you. You're my mate, and I will stand by you. 'Cause you're my mate.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your help today, guys.
I'll tell you what I think, forget it for now. Put it behind you, I think it's your round, 'cause you're my mate.
And what's the haul? Fishing haul? Come on. Come on, mate. Yeah, mate. Hello.
In the face
Smile.
of things that could hurt you. You're my mate, and I will stand by you. 'Cause you're my mate, and I will stand by you. You're my mate, and I will stand by you. And in the face of things that could hurt you, you're my mate, and I will stand by you. 'Cause you're my mate.
You know that is going to be the best eating fish you've ever had. That's a beauty. You see? What would you rather eat, mutton or lamb? Or be like me and eat both, you know?
Thank you. You're my mate, and I will stand by you. You're my mate, and I will stand by you. 'Cause you're my mate.
This has got to be probably one of the best weather days we've had for Mates Day in the history of Mates Day, and we were just trying to work out how many we've had. I really don't know, but it must be somewhere between 12 and 17. And it's just fantastic for all the people that are here today to turn up, especially the boat owners and the deckhands, because without you, seriously, this day would not be possible. Thank you. And I just want to thank a few people that really make this day special. Trevor and Lynette Hogan. Without Trevor and Lynette, this day would just not happen. It's just absolutely fantastic. It's a pleasure to work with you guys. Thank you.
The first person that we should acknowledge as far as future fish is Rex Hunt. He started it off with the idea of looking to the future of the recreational fishing and the ability to leave a great resource to our children, grandchildren and their children.
All right, I'd just like to ask the man who started all this to come up, Rex Hunt. And seriously, folks, if there's one person to blame for just this fantastic event that happens every year, this is the man, because, and I know he misses Eric very much, but that's what started it, and it will continue, hopefully, for generations. Mr. Rex Hunt.
Well, thank you very much, David. This is not about me or anybody. It's about having a vision. It's about inspiring people that no matter whether you're good at school or you're not good at school, that you can aspire to be something, and if you can do something you love and get someone to pay you for it, it's just fantastic. But with a guy like David Kramer and Lynette and also Trevor and all the people that help them, they will tell you that one of the great gifts in life is the joy and satisfaction you get out of being a volunteer. If you want to know what money means, I'll take you to where I went this morning, to the Cabrini Hospital, where a dear friend of mine who I've known for 50 years said, you can have everything if you can make me better, and he's not going to be here next week. But I drove down here and I just thought to myself, there's more to life than, you know, tailgating people and giving them the thumbs up and, you know, driving on the phone and bashing people and that sort of thing, because Eric Atkinson in late 1999 rang the 3RW fishing show and asked me to take him fishing. And his carer rang and said, look, you know, we'll need a couple of people to help him get on board. And he said, and this is Eric, who died in 2006, just after I left 3AW, unfortunately, and I spoke at Eric's funeral, and he was the inspiration to start this, because he said to me, he said, I've got a lot of friends who would just love to have a ride in a boat and catch a fish. I just want to thank everybody, because today it mightn't seem like a big deal to you, but when you drive home, just say, I saw the smile on that bloke's face. I saw this bloke, you know, wetting his pants because he was so excited. It all is not about money and houses and things that you think of value. The greatest value in the world is doing something for someone else, because you'll walk away 7 foot tall. Have a great day, and may the Future Fish Foundation prosper forever. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you, Rex Hunt. What a remarkable man he is. Give him a big cheer for Rex Hunt. And I also want to thank everybody for coming along, and I got to tell us something to say to the legend. Everyone's a legend here, hey? And don't forget Go Storm in NRL 2016 premiers, and the AFL premiers Hawthorn in 2016, the 4 in a row, guys. If you Hawthorn support out there. Richmond.
Who was best on ground? Who was set half back?
Rex Hunt.
There you have it, Future Fish Foundation 2015 Mates Day. What a fantastic day. Back to the studio.
You're my mate, and I will stand by you 'cause you're my mate.
And just some of the highlights of what was a very big day, I can tell you, and many, many more stories, boys, that come out of that. It was just fantastic. And look, I've got to thank publicly, very, very quickly, Andrew Connor, who you might say, oh, you know, we're putting a bit of footage up there of someone carrying on a bit. Andrew does a speech every year. He has autism. He can recite every grand final winner back to 1945, who won the Norm Smith medal. He's an absolute champion. He's appeared on iFish TV. Yeah. He's a champion. He gives a speech every year, and it's priceless. He loves it. Absolutely priceless, and he does love it. If you'd like to write to me or these blokes, this is what you do.
Send your mail to Kramer's Mailbag, PO Box 734, Patterson Lakes, Victoria 3197, or email kramer@ifish.com.au.
Coming up, this week's hotspots and what's coming up on C31 Fishing. Be back shortly on Talking Fishing.
Talking Fishing.
G'day, Callan here from Paul Worsling's Tackle World Cranbourne.
Supercharged batteries have been supplying maintenance-free marine batteries since 2001. The Seamaster Gold range is second to none, delivering superior starting power and reserve capacity. No need to top up with water, truly a fit and forget battery. With up to 2 years replacement warranty, you know you have quality. Your battery is your lifeline. Without it, you're dead in the water because it's bloody hard to push start.
I've got a Seamaster battery in my boat.
Make yours a Seamaster Gold today.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing.
Hello, Richie Minnow here. It's now time for this week's Fishing Hotspots on Talking Fishing. Marvellous.
Just before we get into hotspots, boys, what do you reckon Richie Minnow's New Year's resolution will be? What do you reckon?
Don't eat the worm.
Don't eat the worm. Charlie?
Yeah, you're right. Amigo, don't eat the worm. Yeah, that's an interesting one. I'll have to think about that.
You haven't got long to think. Because it's New Year's Eve in a couple of days.
Yeah.
I reckon going to get a girlfriend.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah, I reckon Richie's going to get a girlfriend. That's what it
Mrs.
is.
Minnow.
Mini Minnow.
Yeah. Anyway, let's get into the hot spots. Some of the greatest spots you can fish while you're on holidays, because many people are enjoying this break between Christmas and New Year, and I hope you're catching plenty of fish. But the first one is get to the rip. We're hearing there's kingfish there. I know they're finicky. Kingfish are always hard to get, but boys, plenty of reports of kingfish already in the rip, and you need to do it on those calm days, don't you?
Yeah, that's right. It can be a bit of crazy, bit of water there. So pick your times.
Jigging,
live
bait. A lot of people have said it's a bit hard on the bait. It's still quite cold, the ocean currents coming into the bay. So I know the bay's really starting to warm up, but it's still cold outside and you get that run-in tide and a bit of a cold flush through there. So hard to get a bit of bait, but I'll tell you what, jigging's the go.
Excited.
Let's head to the whiting capital of the world, the King George whiting capital of the world, St Leonard's. I know it's busy and all those people camping at St Leonard's right now going,
no,
Kramer, Ring, Trelly, what are you talking about?
Send them somewhere else.
That's
Up the Murray.
But it is the place to fish for King George whiting. Either tide in or out is good, and also on the change of tide, just have a little drift for some calamari. It's a nice fresh bait is the go. The next one, or in fact the next four, let's look at some land-based specials, because a lot of people watching this show sitting in their caravan annexes or on holidays, and they go, where can we take the kids land-based? And you can't go past Mornington Pier ads. What's been caught there?
It's pretty good at the moment, because we're in that time of year where everything's on offer, depending on where you can get a spot, because it can get quite, it can get quite busy. But anywhere at the left-hand side, put a big bait out for a snapper. You still have every chance of catching a snapper at this time of year.
Yeah.
On the right-hand side, put a nice long cast in towards the moored boats, King George whiting coming in.
Yep.
And if you just want to go down for a couple of hours, take a squid jig and get a feed of calamari.
Let's head over to Western Port now, and another land-based favourite for many, many people is the Flinders Pier, and some very big calamari coming off the Flinders Pier as well now.
Yeah, definitely. Take a little bit different to target them off Flinders Pier, I think. You can throw your jigs and that's all good, you'll still get plenty of them, but take a nice long rod, a 10 to 12 foot surf rod, a nice big baited jig, and get that out as far as you can. That's generally how a lot of the bigger ones are taken off Flinders Pier.
How would you bait your jig in it, case? Like a strip of something on the bottom of
your... full fish. So
that's the
baited jig, so the squid spike with a silver whiting or a garfish or anything you can get your hands on.
We'll have to demonstrate with Richie Minnow how to do that one. We get him in here and use the spike and show
get him down
how to thread a Richie Minnow. That's pretty much where you put it, Charlie.
That's his New Year's resolution. Don't go near the squid spike.
Don't go near a squid spike.
Don't go near a squid.
Let's head to another very favourite holiday destination where people will probably be saying, don't let anyone come down here. Lawn Pier. Sorry for all those people enjoying Lawn at the moment, but what a place to be this time of year as well, boys.
Doesn't get spoken enough of, the Lawn Pier.
No.
Down here. I know it's a bit out of the way for us, but calamari, big schools of big Australian salmon get through there. And
at night, the amount of calamari coming in there at the moment, and that's why a lot of arrowhead squid amongst them too. You see those squid boats hanging off Lawn at night. You can see all the boats with the lights out at night. And
even the tuna, they're still catching tuna?
No, it hasn't been reported for a while.
Finally. It was a long enough season.
Well, they probably are still there, Charlie, but no one's fishing for them. So, and the next one, again, another very, very favourite place is the 90 Mile Beach, and you name it, they're getting it off it at the moment. So salmon, gummy sharks at night. Charlie, you were talking about a couple of reports of
white pointers.
On
the beach.
Let them go.
90 Mile Beach.
Let them go.
Yeah.
You get in trouble.
Ooh, can't do that, can we?
No. And report, I know this goes back about 3 weeks ago, and I haven't seen one since, but a report of kingfish off the beach down there too.
That's an interesting one.
Yeah.
There's no reason why they shouldn't and wouldn't be there, but you just don't hear of kingfish getting caught off the beach in Victoria.
No, saw one about 3 weeks ago. So there you go. There's some hot spots to go to if you're just enjoying your holidays and want to go somewhere with the kids for fishing. Plenty of land-based opportunities, and there's lots more. If you want to see a full report of where to go, ifish.com.au. Check out the fishing report there. Let's have a look at what's coming up on C31 now. And tonight, straight after us, Catch and Cook, and plenty of other shows on Thursday and Friday, as you can see there. Then Saturday, the big extravaganza kicks off at 9 o'clock in the morning with us talking fishing from 9 through till 10. Then all those shows you can see there right through till 8 o'clock. So plenty of shows to watch on C31, boys. Question without notice, boys.
Yep.
What's your highlight of fishing been? Trelly, we'll start with you for 2015.
For 2015 would have
What's
been...
your best fish? Or most memorable?
Probably Vanuatu, yeah, we went over there, which was really, really good.
Yep.
And dog-tooth tuna.
Very nice.
Yeah, so...
Ads?
Nice. Mine's not necessarily a huge fish, but I got back to doing some fishing, which I haven't done for a long time. It was literally back to land-based basics. I've been doing a lot of fishing with my old man, which we haven't done for quite some time, pure and simply just because life with kids and work and everything. So I've been doing a lot with him, and we found some beautiful bream under the Balcombe Creek Bridge.
Nice. Yeah.
And we were there for quite a few weeks in a row and got them every time, and it was just great to get outside with Dad again and go back to how he taught me fishing. It was just something that I haven't done in a long time, and it was brilliant. It was so good.
Isn't it funny that we talk about snapper and whiting and all those things and the cod, trelly and that, but you pick something that's a little bit different, a little bit special, and mine would have to be that brown trout that I got in the Delatite River on the Melbourne Cup weekend.
Oh, okay,
You know, and I took up a few of the new Jackson lures, and I was just doing something different out in the open air in a beautiful little stream that's one of my favourites.
Did you spot him first?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. That's it for Talking Fishing. We hope you enjoyed the show. On behalf of all the crew here at Talking Fishing, we thank you for watching us in 2015. It's been a big year. We will be taking a break for the next month over January, but repeats of our best shows will be on each Tuesday night throughout the month of January, and we return live from the C31 studios on the first Tuesday in February. We wish you a happy 2016, and until that first Tuesday in February, stay safe on the water and enjoy your fishing.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing. We got all you need, just take a look. Watch those fish jump on your hook. So just relax and take your time. Enjoy the show, then drop us a line. Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing. Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing. Talking fishing.
Have a good weekend, Mr. Walker.
You too, son.